Welcome. This is Home Sweet Home, and my name is Rod McCall.
Okay. My name's Bryce Runge. I'm just wondering what that intro was all about.
I'm trying something new.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I'm trying to, be more...
I was just caught off guard, sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rod McCall.
There, that's it. So you got to think about the music intro that we have. The bumper playing, that's a little more upbeat, and you're like, welcome to home. What? doesn't fit. You got to stick to the script, Rod. Just kidding. Okay. I'm all for trying new things. In fact, we talked about an episode like that early on in our podcast journey about trying new things, starting over, trying new things.
See, I practice what I preach.
There you go.
Well,
you doing all right today?
I think so.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's, they call it the dog days of summer. I'm glad I'm not down in El Paso. There's somewhere around like 40 some days of 100 degree plus temperatures this summer. Though I did see the map and they're in the mid 70s up in New York. My cousins are in Alaska where we went last year for vacation. They're back there. Lead another group of folks on another Alaskan vacation. And I was talking to them over, a few days ago, and they said, oh, yeah, it's pretty warm. It's about 75, 80 degrees.
Oh, wow.
I took a picture of the thermostat in my truck.
Yeah.
And texted it right back, and I go, you want to trade?
Yeah, I'll trade.
Because it was reading 103 degrees.
Well, I don't know if you saw this week, but it was 105, 106.
Yeah, they're talking 107 today at like 3 p.m.
That's exactly the time I'm going to mow the yard.
Really?
Safe or not safe?
Hey, you know what? Do you, baby.
Actually, I'm going to have Braddock's mow the yard because that's his job.
Well, and that's the joy of having children.
That's amen.
They should be out there doing the stuff that we don't want to do.
Exactly. Instead of playing video games, get your butt out there and cut the grass.
Yes, and, if you want to wait, I'll let you wait.
Yeah.
Because at 6 o'clock, it'll be 105. So, and if you want to wait till about 8 o'clock, it'll be about 100 degrees.
Well, and my thing is, going into today that the yard must be cut today. We're going out of town.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of weather, we're going to a cooler place. We're going to the Florida.
Oh, that's right.
Coast
That's
there,
right. That's
and it's
right.
like upper 80s, so it's going to be nice. Anyways, I'm like, the yard has to be cut today. I would prefer getting up early.
Yes.
And doing it, but that's me. That's me.
Yeah, I'm a morning person.
That's me. You do, whatever time you want to do it.
No,
just me. I got to do it early. So instead of sleeping in, big dog, you better get your little butt up out of bed and get to work.
Is he still in bed?
Yes.
Holy crap. If he is in bed when we're done, I am going to go say hello.
Jump on him. Go jump on him.
I might even use some elevated language.
Oh, that'll wake him up.
Yeah, we could do that. I could even introduce our show.
Yeah. We should set up in his room.
Okay, all right.
Welcome back to another episode of Home Sweet Home. What are you guys doing?
Well, so we're, summer will end sadly all too soon, and the school year will start sadly all too soon as well. And so it makes me chuckle. And I get this. I know this about myself. I speak loudly.
Yep.
And the reason why I mentioned school is because I am kind of an animated person. Mm-hmm. When I'm in the classroom, I feel like I am on stage.
Right.
And so I try and be exciting and dynamic and all these other kinds of things that, keep the kids interested. And but I'm told that people can hear me.
Yeah.
And not just like across the hall.
Oh, yeah.
But down the hall and a couple of hallways over.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, it's kind of nice to know that you're here, but you're loud.
Yeah.
And sometimes, when I carry on a conversation, again, I get animated.
Right.
And when I get animated, I'm told, I don't realize I'm doing this, but my voice goes up.
Yep.
No. Not the octave of the voice, but the volume.
Your volume increases.
Yes. And then people say, would you stop yelling at me? And I'm going, wait a minute. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not hostile. I'm just talking.
Yep. Yep.
Does that happen to you?
Oh, it resonates with me all very much. Yes.
Really?
Yes. I get told that all the time by my mother. By my wife. You're getting too loud. My kids haven't told me. Braddock's will tell me, like, yeah, hey, dude, why are you yelling? Oh. I didn't realize I was yelling. My bad.
Sometimes
Just
to me,
excited.
there you go. Thank you. Because when I hear the word you're yelling, in my mind, it resonates. I'm yelling at you because I'm mad or angry with you. And I go, well, but I'm not feeling angry. I'm not feeling frustrated. I'm feeling excited. I'm animated. We're having a conversation. I'm loving the conversation. I'm into the conversation. Mm-hmm. And yet the volume goes up and it's not received. What I'm sharing, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to communicate is not being received in the manner in which it's being, the intention of the delivery.
Right.
And so, I don't know. Is that a problem?
I don't.
Or am I asking the wrong person?
No, I don't. I've tried to recognize that because, I have kids. And I have, like you, when I was in the classroom, people wouldn't necessarily say, you guys are too loud or you're too loud. I guess I would kind of get some vibes that, hey, you guys are loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're just jealous that we're having a lot of fun and we're up in here learning and your class is all quiet and all like, it's boring. I don't do boring. No, anyways, it does. I've tried to curtail that specifically with my kids because a big man yelling at a kid, and I think like I'm not yelling, I'm just explaining to you, but a little kid or a little mind, even my wife, it'll feel like aggressive and attacking, if I start to raise my voice, and it's I get those gentle reminders, like, hey, you're being too loud.
Gotcha. Well,
did I even answer your question? I don't know.
Yeah, you did. You did. Okay. I think you did. You got into mansplaining, but that's okay.
Mansplaining? Is that like manspreading?
No, mansplaining. Haven't you heard that phrase?
No.
Oh, golly. That's when, okay, I guess I'm going to have to mansplaining to you. But it's where a man explains the obvious to somebody who is... Usually it's a man explaining to a woman something very basic that they already know.
Right.
So you're talking down to them.
Yes.
So I don't know. Anyway.
Was I talking down to you?
No. It was funny. Okay. So
I'm sorry.
Here's why I bring this up. Okay. I have a friend of mine. She posted an article she didn't post. It was published in Forbes magazine.
Woohoo.
And her name is Ginger Gentile. Now, Ginger Gentile and I go way back.
Yeah.
We're not like best pals, but we know each other. We're friendly. She's a documentarian. She's a journalist. I guess a journalist.
Okay.
At the end of the day, she is a journalist.
Now, because I understand what the journalist is. I don't know. What is a documentarian? Did you just make that up?
No.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of a documentarian before. Did
Well-
they document things?
Yeah, Aryan things. Hey, look, I just got told I'm number one. Anyway, no, so a documentarian, what she, to be a documentarian as I understand it,
Yeah.
she has written and published their videos. They're like a documentary.
Oh, okay.
She's made 2 documentaries.
Okay.
And they're both on family dynamics, in particular relating to the issue of parental alienation. And that's how I know her. We've spoken at events together. We actually were on a TV broadcast down in Austin I guess it was pre-COVID.
Wow.
During South by Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Austin a few years ago. And so anyway, so we're friends. And so she had this article that was titled "Stop Yelling: Learning How to Have Safe Conversations." And it caught me, and I enjoyed reading it because she is a very talented journalist. But it got me thinking, how many times have I been told, "You're yelling"?
Yeah.
Now, growing up in our family, and I'm sure my sisters will concur, that when we would have conversations and we're talking, we're discussing, we're debating, well, it was whoever yelled the loudest over everybody else was the one that could be heard, then that might kind of win
Right.
the conversation. Not that it was necessarily a contest, but you're trying to be heard.
Yeah.
Well, so to be heard, and we're naturally,
Loud.
I was trying to think of another word to say loud, but yes, we're loud. And in fact, anybody that's joined our family goes, "Oh my God, you're loud."
Yeah.
Well, but we laugh. We like to enjoy each other's company. And so anyway, when we get together, it can be a good time.
Yeah.
But again, these conversations, these debates. And so as a family, that's how I learned how to talk. And if you were in a conversation with multiple people, well, you needed, instead of taking time and being patient, you'd start to talk over them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bad habit I have.
I hear you.
I've sometimes done it to you.
Yeah, you have. But I forgive you.
Well, thank you. So, but it got me thinking, how many times do I talk to people, whether it's the kids in the classroom, family members, friends, whatever, that I get with the animation, the volume goes up, and suddenly I'm not Again, it goes back to what we said just a little bit ago. The message that you're trying to communicate is not being received with the intention it's being delivered.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it getting lost in translation because of the volume?
Right. I guess it depends on your audience. Maybe.
What do you mean?
If you're, I don't know. If you're a coach and you're talking to a team, maybe they're going to receive it differently. If you're in a classroom, maybe some of the kids are going to receive it, accept it and be okay with it. And some are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, he's yelling at me. Now I'm scared.
Okay.
What, did I do something wrong?"
Coaches yell, though.
Yeah, true.
And I've seen plenty of coaches, especially basketball coaches, because, me and basketball, I love basketball, and I do a lot of work, at least at the high school level, running the clock. So I get to participate in a lot of, and I hear coaches, and I got to tell you, I think the number one reason why I enjoy running the clock, okay, I won't say the number one. Number one is I get to watch and be front row of basketball.
Right.
Second, though, and this is a close second benefit, listening to the coaches talk to the players and to the referees.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
FCC violations is going to prevent me from, or regulations prevent me from sharing some of the stories and things that I've heard coaches say. But it is highly entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe there's a time and a place.
Right.
But if you're at home and you're having a conversation with Braddock as to why mowing this morning, at 8:30 before it got really hot was better than waiting until, 5 o'clock when it's 104.
Yeah, and not 99.
Exactly. I went for my walk. Show you how nuts it was. I went for my walk this morning. I left the house, and it was 79 degrees.
It was?
79 degrees.
I guess it had to be at some point.
Yeah, it was about 7:30 this morning.
Yeah.
And so I go for my walk through the neighborhood. It's about 1.3 miles.
Okay.
I get back. Okay, we're talking 25 minutes. I was gone.
Yeah.
And it had risen 4 degrees.
Wow.
From 79 to 83.
Yep.
In the span of 25 flipping minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going, ugh. Anyway,
Good for you, though, getting out and walking and exercising.
well, I'm trying to. You know, I got a body for science fiction, but, you know.
Jeez.
Anyway, hey, we're getting off topic. So anyway.
Yeah, come on. Get back in our lane.
So the idea of yelling, and so this is what Ginger talks about. She says that there is this method to reduce your, to communicate with excitement, with inflection in your voice, but without yelling. And they call it safe conversations.
Okay.
And it's a way to communicate, and it's a program. And, oh, bless you.
Excuse me.
You're no problem. But she said that, they talk, or she's commenting on the, this organization, Safe Conversations, gives you the training, the skills necessary to be able to talk without criticizing, listening without judgment, and to connect beyond differences. Sounds similar to some of the things that we talk about. Yeah. But I thought it was really kind of neat. She said that this is actually created by a couple out of Kentucky. No, not Kentucky. Anyway, but it's a couple that they've been married for over 40 years.
Wow.
But I thought it was kind of interesting. How many times could I save myself trouble, frustration by not getting overly animated?
Yeah. Well, I would just point that right towards self-awareness. And becoming more self-aware will definitely help you, right?
Okay.
It'll help in your relationships, help in your teaching. It won't piss off your neighbor teachers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You won't offend anyone.
Fair enough. No,
I don't know.
No, you bring up a good point, because do you raise your voice because you're in a power struggle? When let's say you and I are having a conversation, okay? You and Suzanne are having a conversation. You and a coworker are having a conversation. When you get a little animated, when you start to raise the volume, is that a result of a power struggle in that particular conversation between you and the person or people involved? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I don't know. I think when I'm in that situation, maybe the adrenaline starts pumping.
Uh-huh.
And then the volume increases.
But is that a result of, again, a power struggle? You want to be heard. You want to be told you're right. You don't want to be on the losing end. You don't want to come across as being told you're wrong.
No, I don't think so. I think, like if I'm talking with Suzanne about something that happened, I don't know, at work.
Okay.
Just for an example. And I start to get animated, and then, like you said, the volume starts to increase.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's
okay.
There's not a power play there, or it's
Let's say that you're on your trip down to Florida.
Yeah.
And she's telling you, let's go this way. Let's take this highway. And you're going, no, I want to take this highway.
That's not going to happen.
Let's say it does. Okay.
I just can't like go there. I can't role play right now.
Okay,
I
how
can't
about
go
this?
there with that because she doesn't.
Sherry and I have this conversation, and she'll say, "You need to do this."
Right.
Let's go this way. Let's take this route. And I'm going, no, we're going to take this route. And so we start to have a conversation about what's the best route to go.
Right.
She's right more often than not. But I'm often right just often enough to give me a sense of overconfidence.
Right.
So when we're having this conversation of the right way to do something, right direction to take, if we get into a discussion on that, is it a power play?
So when you have that, when that happens to you, do you get loud?
I'm told I do.
Would you consider that a power play, or you?
Until just now, no. But now, I'm again. Ginger brings this up in her article that it's a power play between you and the other person in the conversation, and it's kind of like, okay, we have the okay.
I wonder though if that puts you on defense mode, because I feel like I get defensive, and now I'm not in the car with you, and based on what you just told me, though, I would say maybe that puts you on the defense because you were told you need to do this. Okay. Not saying, hey, what do you think about doing this or going this way? I know that when I am told you need to do this, I start to bow up. First of all, I don't know who the hell you think you are telling me I need to do this. So maybe that does become a power play. Or is it defense? You're not telling me what to do. Maybe it's how you said it.
Okay, how about this? We'll go one step further. Let's take our spouses out of this.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Okay. Let's talk politics.
Oh, Lord. You're better at that than I am.
I understand because that's just what I do.
Right, yes.
Okay. Some of the guys, we gather in my classroom and we'll chit-chat.
Okay.
And the chit-chat will invariably turn to something in history because, I mean, you got all these social studies teachers, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be history or politics or both.
Yeah.
And because now you're talking about historical issues with very wise individuals with lots of experience, and they're not when I talk history to a lot of people, they're not as well versed as I am.
Right.
When I talk politics, most people are not as well versed. But when I'm at work or at school with my coworkers, they do the same thing I do.
Level playing field.
Sometimes I'm on the wrong end of that level playing field.
Got it.
And so we'll have these conversations, and I think, yes, I know my voice goes up there because we have differing opinions.
Right.
And so as a consequence, then the voice goes up. And now listening to what Ginger says or offers up in her article here that, it is a power play. And I will get frustrated with some of my coworkers because they aren't listening to me.
Right.
Because they're not agreeing with me.
Yeah.
And so I will admit that I have ended a conversation. Well, you're just an idiot. And so it's kind of like, wait a minute. But so I thought that, though, that was interesting. Again, reflection, looking back, because the people that started this Safe Conversations, they're saying that conflict is growth trying to happen. Okay, but you've got to be willing to listen.
Oh, yeah.
And
listen to what?
Well, to what the other person is saying.
Listen to understand.
Yes, thank you. No, you're absolutely right. And they're part of this teaching that they have in the Safe Conversations is that you want to apply zero negativity to your conversation, and that you in fact, she said I guess there's it's a 3-step process to what they have, or what they call a safe conversation.
Okay.
Where they can, and I'm reading here directly, people can learn to approach conflicts with gratitude and wonder while feeling safe. Yeah. And so, let's see, first, Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So the three. Let's see. Anyway, I don't really see what the 3 steps are, but she said the article does go on to say that there are 5 mistakes people often make when having a difficult conversation. 1, they violate boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did one recently on, unhealthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, sometimes some of those conversations you do violate boundaries. Whether it's with, your spouse, significant other, coworkers, friends, whatever. 2, when someone says something we don't like, we react or replace what we think we should have said.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of, again, maybe overreact. 3rd thing in these that we tend to do, saying, I got it. Let me tell you more about me. Mm-hmm. Instead, you should be curious and ask questions, which is what Sherry's always telling me, ask questions, don't jump to conclusions.
Right.
But ask, is there more? Let the person who needs to send a message be more completely heard, more understood, so that way you can then basically let them go through, instead of trying to interrupt and interject, let them go through and finish, because there might be more that we need to understand or hear.
Right.
4th thing we do is we use judging words. Yeah, I'm bad at that. Again, they mention in here, listen.
Right.
And the last thing they say that people tend to do, or 5, mistakes that they make when having difficult conversations: criticize and offer advice. I mean, we've already hit on that. Don't tell me what I need to do.
Yeah.
So they suggest instead focus on making the other person feel safe, and then work together to come up solutions.
Yeah.
And in fact, they have a statistic in here saying that we actually only hear 30% of what is being said, because we hear boom, go off. We're listening to respond rather than listening to understand. And so when we hear something, boom, we take off and we go down a rabbit hole of response rather than listening to what else they have to say.
Yeah.
And that leads to yelling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a difference between being excited and your voice goes up,
right,
and a discussion, a debate.
Yeah.
Which I guess goes back to why people don't like to talk politics, because they don't do they actively do these 5 things. You violate boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You react. You don't listen to understand. You judge what they say, and you criticize.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've been told on both spectrums, like, you're getting too loud because you're becoming animated. And Suzanne does a good job. And it doesn't offend me. I've gotten better at, okay, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for helping me be better. That's the mindset.
Yes.
That I know sometimes I don't absorb. I get defensive, but I know, like, you're right. Thank you for helping me be better.
Mm-hmm.
So that now transfers into my kids, and Braddock's does a good job. Like, why are you yelling at me?
Uh-huh.
You're right. I'm sorry. Because I know that that could be aggressive, and that could, not that I want to damage anything, but, if I don't get that in check, I don't want to damage any relationships. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that dad. I don't want to be that husband. So I've been told on a couple of those spectrums, right? And so, again, it's being self-aware of that. And there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it's with our loved ones, and we need to hear them, listen to them, and understand, and then apply that wisdom. Because, right, our spouse should help us be better.
Amen.
And we should be willing, specifically as men, to be okay with that and not to be. And again, talking out loud. Trying to hear myself right now. Like, don't get just she's telling me what to do again. No, dude. You were specifically given a wife because she's going to help you be better.
Amen.
And now vice versa, right? But more so, I need to get a better grip on that. But yeah. And my mom, she'll tell me all the time, why are you yelling? You always yell. We're loud, Mom. We do loud.
Because you're not listening to me. So, yeah. No,
you're always yelling at her. She's just a little girl. I'm not yelling at her. I'm just raising my voice. She's not listening to me. So raise your voice. So yell at her. That helps. Right? Yeah, you're an idiot. Raise your voice. Yell at her. Okay.
Maybe they just can't hear.
Now, Bristol's defense, she literally could not hear. I don't know if we told you that.
No.
So she had multiple, ear infections, and I'm going to blame that on what happened to her last Halloween. Not confirmed, but anyway, she's had multiple ear infections. So we took her to get tested for, does she need tubes? Well, she did the hearing test. She literally heard nothing on the test.
Oh, my.
And then the doctor's like, well, she's got so much fluid in there. And all this stuff that's been continuing to happen. And that she kind of like, imagine talking almost like underwater, kind of like.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, oh, my gosh, poor thing. Like, literally probably couldn't hear. Like, here's like, right. So she finally got tubes.
Okay.
Suzanne took her early last week.
Okay.
Got the tubes put in, and she did good. And
now she hears.
And now I'm like, so the tubes did absolutely nothing. Great. You don't listen to me. But those are some two really independent, stubborn, little feisty firecrackers we got our hands on. So, but that's a good thing for them. I think that's going to pay off well in their future.
Well, potentially.
I hope.
Hey, you know what, though? Just yell at them.
Just yell at them?
Okay.
It's not working.
All right. Well,
you know what I do? I walk away. So I don't yell at them.
No. It's, yes. Yelling generates the wrong kind of emotional response.
Right.
And I will say that when I remember this, I do better. I don't always remember this.
Right.
So I'll just have to remind myself of Ginger's suggestions the next time I get a little excited,
right,
animated,
yeah,
frustrated, hostile, angry. If people just actually thought like I did, agreed with me, and called me king of the world, we wouldn't have too many debates.
And if people drove right.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I will ever stop yelling at people who drive poorly.
I don't think you will.
I mean, I'm trying to
Maybe you will. Maybe you will.
I'm trying to have a positive attitude.
There you go. PMA. Positive mental attitude.
All right. Well, then I'm going to take my positivity and I am going to call this a day then.
Good.
So
don't yell at anyone.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the same.
I will try.
Okay.
So until next time,
I'm Bryce.
I'm Rod.
Bye.